For years, there has been a silence in the high-resolution world of Nikon. A gap in the lineup that has left loyalists waiting, watching, and wondering. While the Z8 stole the show with its mini Z9 performance and the ZF won our hearts with pure nostalgia, the true high-resolution king has remained dormant. But the wait is finally over. The Nikon Z7 III isn't just an update, it is shaping up to be the answer to every photographer who refused to switch systems. Today on TechVibe, we aren't just looking at specs, we are looking at Nikon's declaration of war on the resolution market. If you are a landscape shooter, a studio pro, or just obsessed with detail, you cannot afford to miss this because we are about to expose the camera that might just be the final upgrade you ever need. Let's get straight into the heart of the beast, which is the sensor technology. For the last 4 years, the 45-megapixel sensor in the Z7 II has been a workhorse. It is fantastic, reliable, and sharp. But in the current landscape, fantastic isn't enough. The market has moved aggressively. We have seen competitors pushing 61 megapixels and beyond. The rumors surrounding the Z7 III are pointing toward a massive shift in sensor architecture. We are hearing credible reports of a new high-resolution BSI CMOS sensor, likely sitting in the 60 to 90 megapixel range. Why does this matter to you? Because Nikon isn't just chasing numbers, they are chasing physics. A jump to this resolution territory puts the Z7 III in direct competition with medium-format bodies, but with the versatility of a full-frame system. Imagine cropping in 200% on a landscape shot and still having 20 megapixels of usable, razor-sharp data. That is the power we are talking about. However, high megapixels usually mean one terrifying thing for photographers, and that is noise. This is where Nikon's secret weapon comes in, which is the EXPEED processor. This isn't just a processor upgrade, it is a total brain transplant for the Z7 line. The Z7 II was somewhat limited by its dual EXPEED processors, which often choked the buffer or slowed down the autofocus in challenging low-light scenarios. The Z7 III, powered by the same engine found in the flagship Z9 and Z8, is going to obliterate those bottlenecks. We are talking about cleaner files at ISO 6400 than we used to get at ISO 1600. The dynamic range is expected to be class-leading, recovering shadows that would be pure black on any other camera system. But let's address the elephant in the room that has plagued Nikon users for years, which is autofocus reliability. For a long time, Nikon users had to defend their autofocus systems against Sony and Canon users. Those days are officially gone. With the EXPEED, the Z7 III inherits the deep learning AI autofocus straight from the Z9. This means 3D tracking that feels like it is reading your mind. We are expecting bird, animal, vehicle, and airplane detection that works in pitch blackness, locking on down to -9 EV. If you are a studio photographer, IAF will lock onto your model's iris from across the room and refuse to let go, even if they turn around or hair falls in front of their face. If you shoot wildlife, you no longer have to choose between the speed of the Z8 and the resolution of the Z7. The Z7 III is rumored to bridge that gap, potentially offering burst speeds of up to 20 frames per second in RAW. That is unheard of for a camera with this kind of resolution density. Now, let's talk about video, because this is where Nikon has quietly become a juggernaut in the industry. The Z7 line was never really positioned as a video-first camera. It was a photographer's tool that could shoot video if needed. The Z7 III flips the script entirely. We are looking at 8K recording, likely up to 60 frames per second if Nikon decides to unchain the full power of the sensor. But even if they cap it at 8K 30p to protect the Z8 sales, the real story here is 10-bit internal recording and ProRes support. For the hybrid shooters watching this is huge. You can carry a body that fits in a small travel bag, hike up a mountain, take a 90-megapixel landscape photo, and then switch to video mode to record cinematic, color-graded 8K footage of the sunset. No external recorders. No overheating. Just pure creative freedom. Let's touch on the ergonomics because this is a vital part of the user experience. Nikon has always had the best grip in the business, period. The Z7 III is expected to refine this further, possibly adopting the 4-axis tilting screen we saw on the Z8 and Z9. If you have ever tried to shoot a vertical composition from a low angle with a standard tilt screen, you know the pain. This new screen mechanism is a game-changer for architectural and portrait photographers. We also expect a massive upgrade to the electronic viewfinder. The rumor mill suggests a 5.76 million EVF with a 120 Hz refresh rate. This eliminates the digital look of mirrorless cameras, giving you an optical-like experience that makes you forget you're looking at a screen. However, all of this power raises a massive question regarding placement. Where does this sit in the lineup? Nikon has to be careful. They cannot make it too good, or nobody will buy the Z8. The Z7 III will likely lack the integrated vertical grip and the Ethernet ports of the Pro bodies. It might have a slightly smaller buffer. But for 95% of us, those are trade-offs we are willing to make for a smaller, lighter, and higher resolution body. The connectivity is also getting a boost. We expect full Wi-Fi 6E integration for lightning-fast transfer speeds to your phone or studio computer. For the pros working in the field, this means you can beam massive 60-megapixel JPEGs to a client in seconds, not minutes. So, who is this camera actually for? It is for the perfectionist. It is for the creator who looks at a 4K monitor and sees pixels. It is for the landscape photographer who wants to print billboards. And it is for the loyal Nikon shooter who has been holding on to their D850, waiting for the mirrorless equivalent to finally arrive. The Z7 III isn't just a camera, it is the final nail in the coffin of the DSLR era. We also need to talk about the ecosystem. Nikon's Z-mount glass is arguably the best optical system on the planet right now. The plana, the f/1.2 primes, the razor-sharp zooms, they are all resolving more detail than the current sensors can capture. The Z7 III unlocks the true potential of your lenses. If you own Z-glass, you haven't truly seen what it can do until you put it in front of this new sensor. Pricing is the final piece of the puzzle. With inflation and tech costs rising, don't expect this to be cheap. But compared to the price of a digital medium format system, the Z7 III will likely be the bargain of the decade. You are getting top-tier specs, rugged durability, and Nikon's legendary color science, all in a package that fits in your hand. So, the million-dollar question remains: if you had to choose between the blistering speed of the Z8 or the massive resolution of the Z7 III, which one are you taking home? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. If you're excited about the future of Nikon, smash that like button and subscribe to TechVibe. We'll see you in the next one.